welcome to the Game Fuel Marquee match. We've got a battle coming up next. Guerrillas, Subliners, they're going to be fighting up against each other. How you doing, Joe DeLuca, after that last match?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for some more Call of Duty. It's kind of a similar situation, right? Where one team trying to improve. I know NYSL coming off that second place, but you know, there's mistakes. They want to get better for the big one. And then for Guerrillas, right? You're 9th right now in CDL rankings. You need some points. So a lot of energy from those guys.
100%. Let's check out our Game Fuel featured player. It's going to be Asim, and I mean, shout out to what he's been able to do so far this year, considering the changes with the squad. You know, drastic change kind of in his duo partner at the SMG role now that he has HyDra there, and you know, you gotta take the front sometimes and be the guy that makes plays. Sometimes you take the back seat when somebody like HyDra joins. He's really shown a versatility that is rare this year.
Oh, just an unbelievable year. I don't think many people expected this. I know I sure didn't, but he has truly showed what he is capable of. He took advantage of an opportunity. You just love to see it. He's been a beast in hardpoint. You see it there. But just overall, a solid player in every single mode for NYSL. And yeah, can't wait to see his point of view a little bit more today because he could be a playmaker for them.
Yeah, and 100%. Maybe the stats don't look insane to a new viewer. But when you play his role, those are great stats. Like he's been playing awesome, especially considering the success the team is finding and the bombs that HyDra has been dropping. But looking for him to step up in this series. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how this team is after that great run to a final. They're looking to bounce back after a loss to FaZe there. See if they can start off stage 4 with a victory. But first, let's check out the team. Here's NYSL.
What a kill that was. I'll see you in league play later, boys and girls. Clayster, though, has a couple players in front. He gets the 2-piece, gets the 3rd. There's the first. That was one more. Is inside. Fantastic movement. Shots on point. Keep the streak going.
It was a matter of moments before we saw this map potentially wide open.
When HyDra joined the roster, they instantly looked like a threat in hardpoint. They go on that crazy streak. It looked like they needed some improvements in search and control, especially for HyDra, and just talking numbers. And he got good, and he got good quickly. This team became well-rounded well before I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now for them, it's to stay at that level, but how do we get better? How do we continue to challenge Atlanta FaZe, Toronto Ultra? We want to win majors. We want to win a world championship. It feels like they have their roster now. This is going to be their core 4. They are all comfortable. They know they can be one of the best teams in the world, but how do they make themselves the best?
Well, I think you nailed it because we, on our Hardpoints podcast, we talked after the first major where they got 3rd. And my biggest issue why I thought they should change is because I didn't think that team could win. I wasn't convinced that they could actually win an event and be the best team. Now that changes. I really do think they can. Will they? I don't know. But they've got the potential to do it now with HyDra in the lineup. But let's meet their opponents. On the other side of this, we're going to have the Los Angeles Guerrillas looking to fight back, try and battle into that top 8 for champs at the end of the year. Let's take a look at the roster.
Where my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night.
Joe, they stick with this core lineup. Gino, he is still there. There were some question marks whether they maybe try a different change. We saw some improvements. We saw some lapses as well, but they're sticking together. They're looking to improve with this squad. You need to do it in this stage.
I mean, listen, they had 3 Game 5s in Stage 3. They were competitive with a lot of teams. They were going the distance. They were winning more respawns. And you have a team of veterans, and they're probably all thinking, give me the land, right? I know a lot of our teams are. But what? Major 4 right around the corner. But as you said, they need a much better, early stage here. But take a look at our maps and modes. Games 1 and 2, not bad at all for Los Angeles Guerrillas. Do you think that's where they have to find some success if they want to really extend this series? Because 3 and 4, much better for NYSL.
Yeah, what? Garrison, 1 and 5 if you're Guerrillas. Hardpoint on Moscow, 1 and 5. Yeah, they've got to win one or both of these games. They need to, and it's not going to be easy going up against a team that was just in a grand final of a major just a couple weeks ago. If they're going to do it, if they're going to come in here and pull off what I think everyone would see as a massive upset, how does it get done?
I think it is through 1 and 2 and then getting to a Game 5. To me, that is the success of Guerrillas. It is through the search and destroy. It's what we said had to be the success for this team when they first formed. Again, you get to 3 Game 5s last stage, but you lose all 3 of them. They have to turn those into W's. They were much better in respawns. They were more competitive. But
well, and you've got a team that definitely put a lot of time into standoff. Like everybody, right? You mentioned how the veterans of that squad, a little bit different on the other side. I know Clay was born there, but not so much maybe for the other 3.
Yeah, 100%. Apocalypse, it's 2 and 3. They're a pretty solid Apocalypse team. I think one of those losses is early on in the last stage against Toronto Ultra. But NYSL, it's their map pick. They're such a strong hardpoint team. They only have 2 losses last stage, and well, those 2 losses were to Atlanta FaZe. So, we get it. But so good at this game mode. Early on, they get that flip. Start on the bad side, but it does matter. Look at Gene rocking the far.
Well, we saw Dashy make some plays with it. We'll see what Sheen is going to be able to do. Mack still trying to hold. Him and Asim able to combine to take down 3 there's 5 seconds left. Let's say there was a kill at the front, but that's not going to matter too much. They'll just look to continue to hold. Our game field feature player on your screen for just a moment. And set up inside will be NYSL. A great flip. Early control. We saw what? From Thieves, such a good job from the strong side at the opening. Here, the opposite. Such a good flip and hold for second.
Yeah, and we talked about really running 374Us on this map if you want to. And maybe with the way that, Sheen and Assault aren't necessarily flex players, right? They're both typically main ARs. But from Assault, I saw QBZ. From Sheen afar, maybe that is their way for making up some aggression because they don't really have a third 74U that they can pivot to.
Wasn't that an issue for that TK roster back in World War II when they ended up making a change? That was one of the struggles they had, was somebody being able to run the flex on certain maps? I don't know if memory serves, but I feel like that was one of the problems. Sheen was trying to do it.
I don't think so.
I might remember it wrong then.
Now,
get what you're saying. They're more natural. They're more natural ARs.
Yeah, well, 100%. But back over to Asim, his point of view, going to get cut down, but NYSL in some great position. But this is what we saw last time. Now can Guerrillas respond here at the next couple of hills with the side of the map that they want to spawn on?
They'll try to bring this rally back, but HyDra patiently waiting for the teammates to respawn and look for an opening. He finds one. Traded effectively by Guerrillas, but losing the point. It's NYSL. Looking to soak up some time. They might be able to catch one off a spawn. The last guy in is going to be Apathy and Clayster. Well, Clayster was lying in wait, and then his head got gnawed off by Apathy.
Vasily able to find that last one, and now it's a race to the other side of the map. You already have Asim in a great position inside of that back cut. On the hill, though, going to be 2 players. Gina with that far, able to connect on the 2, though. Gives them some room to work with, trying to find the wall. Bang, I like it, Gene. You see where those NYSL players spawning out. Can he find it? Get some hit markers, but still not able to take him down. They have the position they want. They just don't have the hill control. Now finally able to get it, and Gene, he's hitting.
The FAR is so fun to use. The thing is disgusting, but it is control now for Guerrillas. 30-second advantage or so for NYSL. I know we love listening to the comms. They can be fun, whether it's Clay gassing up HyDra or the guys just getting hyped. I want to hear them again. Let's go to an Astro listen to that NYSL.
One square. I spawned out, guys.
Careful, we're feeding streams.
Careful, go around.
Come with me left, come on.
I got one coop. One more coop on me. Backside coop weak. Backside coop weak. You guys flood. You guys just flood. Keep flooding.
We're going.
I'm waiting for you guys.
After you weak
Sliding.
coop.
Ready? They have a trophy. I'm about to slide. Ready?
Yeah.
It's only one. It's only one for now. Dude, last guy after you was coop. He was last coop. He could pinch. He could pinch. I don't have it yet. I don't have it yet.
Tell me when you're there.
Alright, I'm here now.
This one gold. This one gold. This one gold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay P3.
Holding this tight play. I'm just.
Okay.
I need a trophy on time. Good job.
Paco, make sure you have
In the back. He's in the back. Sheen on the back. Heady. Assault and Sheen back there. Assault that.
Hold
Sheen
that
on the back.
Paco, please
Assault
hold
on the
that.
back. Yo, he's on top of me. 2 there. 1 top, 1 in the back.
I'm going
Look up in the top. 1 in the back. There's 2 top. 2 top. 2 top.
One back door. One back door.
I got
One back door.
There's 2 top.
One back door on you.
One more back door.
I spawned back pit. I spawned back pit.
He's top.
I have your back door. I have your back door. Last guy top. Last guy top.
He's up there. Go chase him. If he's behind me. Behind me. He's gonna shoot on the back. One more trench.
Did top guy die?
Oh yeah, no. One in the back on me. Apathy dead.
Nice, Clay.
Oh,
there's two low. Too low.
I'm going to help Hill.
Are you looking over me?
Yeah.
I got one low. One more down.
Nice.
Let's go.
Come with me, guys. I'm already in P3. Come.
I'm coming out to HyDra.
Run away.
I'm watching top TV. I'm watching the pitch top TV. Just wait.
One dead.
I'm trying to let that kid spawn behind his pit. Apathy behind us.
One shot right. One shot on me. He's back maps. Adam's
You
back
jumped down.
maps.
You jumped down on their TV. Jump down on their TV. Nice, guys.
Adam's back maps. He was back right. He might be in there.
Okay. I'm holding P1.
I spawn trench. I'm gonna help
They
you.
spawned pit on me. They spawned pit on me.
Yeah.
One. Chain. One.
I'm all right.
He went right.
Flash.
We spawned out.
We got time, we got
Good
time.
spawns.
This one, yeah.
Under coop.
We're going low.
And one low right.
All right.
Alright, wait. You guys gotta get kills here. Huge
I
kills here.
got one.
Okay.
Just kills.
One's all right. Stay together. Stay alive. I'm gonna hop up on the ammo truck.
Yeah,
I'll look middle.
I didn't need him on the coop. I got one top.
I don't see a map.
Nice. We can hear.
I need it behind the truck.
A new one shot.
And he's low right,
One
guys.
shot new.
I got
Gotta
him.
coordinate, guys. You guys
No,
are just
No,
going
I'm
by
waiting.
yourself.
I'm waiting, guys.
I'm gonna
I'll
come
get
low
to
with you.
He pushed me up.
Watch out.
P3. He's really one shot waiting.
We're here.
I'm regening. I
Let's go.
can't initiate.
Now.
I
Money
gotta
Sheen
go
weak
first.
in hill. Money Sheen really weak in hill.
I'm peeking back P1. I'm
He's
looking right
front
side.
side,
Right
one
side.
shot,
Right
one
side.
shot.
behind the hill, man.
I got him.
Nice, guys. There you go.
Top
Top
four,
road,
get
one
top
mid
four,
alley.
not even.
Big one mid alley. Stay alive, Mack. Stay alive. We're
I'm
coming.
trying, bro. I'm trying.
Yeah, you guys stay alive. I'm gonna work front out. Could be coop then.
Give you top maps. I flashed it.
Go. I'll look broken. Go.
Okay.
I'll pop up maps. I'm hopping on maps.
Broken. Apathy. Broken.
Top on
Weak.
TBT. Oh my god.
Let's go. Let's activate.
Yeah,
go, go.
One's back
I'm gonna
tempo.
go
One's back
front.
tempo by the wall.
Hold on. I'm reloading. I'm gonna shot
I'm
tempo.
gonna go
Back
front.
tempo by the wall.
Yo,
now.
back temple.
Okay. I'll play for the guy tempo for you guys. He's really weak back.
Yeah, go,
back
go,
in the
go,
window.
go.
Two in the back.
Yeah, let's go.
One's gold. One's tempo window. One guy. One's front. One's coming front.
One back rugs. Two back rugs.
We stayed in that Astro listen a bit longer than normal because, Joe, that is one of the better listen-ins I've ever heard in my career.
Just not, not a lot of chatter. Just very important things. You heard slow down. Now we got to make the push. You even heard there, let's activate. I don't know. It sounds like we're at a workout class, but I'm loving it. That means it's time to go. Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of something from Asim, something from Clay. Even Mack, as soon as we get into that, hey, let's take a long route. We're feeding streaks right now, guys. Let's continue to play our game. I agree. I mean, just from every single one of those players was so good to listen to. But even with that, Guerrillas with a slight lead.
Yeah, that's what's funny about it. Like, it was so good to me, but yeah, they're still losing. But I'm a big fan of small talk. I always have been, and I think it's lacking sometimes. Just the little stuff like, I'm here, I'm gonna slide out. Are you over me? Yes, I'm here. Slide. Like just the back and forth between players. Like it was, I don't know. It was really fun to listen to. But they still have to try and win the map. And you did hear maybe a little frustration setting in towards the tail end of it, as they were fighting to get control. Nice shots from Assault is HyDra. Lion Prone's not going to work, but Clay, a little sneaky spot here in the corner. Just trying to collect the time. Now down only 10. And that'll be 2 down for Guerrillas.
Yeah, I think you heard that frustration because there's the moments when I think they know they have to find some kills, and they just weren't trading, right? Like, that's when you had Guerrillas finding the multi-kills. They knew they had a man advantage. Just even after the P5, hey, I'm spawning Apathy out. Now it's time to go. But they never found the kills they needed to really get control of the map, turn the tides in their favor. So you have to give props to Guerrillas, but in terms of the comms, unreal from NYSL. Now, as we go towards this 4th hill, you have Guerrillas pushing the spawns, trying to get control for P5. It's NYSL in the hill.
And there's the lead change. NYSL will go out in front. 118 to the far. Still out and about on the map, just trying to maybe find an opening, but NYSL not giving them any. They're just lying in wait, as they're the ones that control. Apathy able to win a one-on-one. Now the pinch is going to come in. Gene able to take down one. Clay still on the point. He's getting big kills from the objective to keep this time. He's reading both sides, but 2 will flood out. Now are the trades here. They sure are. HyDra, you gets both.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where NYSL, right? Like we listened to it. Hey, we're not trading. We're not feeding streaks. Let's rotate. Guerrillas do the same thing. NYSL can't win on this hill, but on the rotation where they had the man advantage, Guerrillas getting shut down. And well, Clay with a heads-up nade, able to get some damage in. So now it's just Assault all by his lonesome. And what we heard, hey, stay alive. This has to be one of those positions where Assault does that, finds the 74U. He's at least able to find one, but they have to go. Guerrillas. Only 10 more seconds for NYSL to close this map 1 out.
Well, I was saying they're in a pretty good spot in the point. The one, they both drop. Both players in the point get hit. Fantastic lethals out of NYSL to clear them out. Now finding all the kills around the point as they come off of spawn. I can test for a moment, but the break and closeout is in NYSL. They take the map. And man, that was fun to listen to the comms a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, I think because we saw that there was a trophy down, but I think both Guerrillas players got pushed up in the hill. So I think the nades, they put them on the wall, NYSL, and I think they both connected onto the players who were trying to get pushed up into a corner. You're forcing NYSL to slide on in because there was a trophy there. We saw it through the X-ray. The Guerrillas, their positioning wasn't there. They were just trying to buy enough time, but NYSL with a nice rotation from 4 to 5 gives them that map 1 victory.
Yeah, they remain very, very good in hard point. They bring it back, and yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the minimap, and I saw the 2 players in, and 2 players really close to rotate over. I'm like, all right, they can bring this back. We're gonna have a nail-biting finish, but then the nades, the nades ruin any setup that Guerrillas had. Joe, anything pop off the screen stats-wise?
I mean, Mack really having a good game, plus 10 out of him on the opposite side. Silly Assault, not the best map 1. Out of the vets, but again, a very close map 1. They only lose by 55 points to potentially the best hardpoint team in the game.
Okay, well now for Guerrillas, you have to win this map 2. The series looked good for you, or better in the beginning. You lose the map 1, you got to do it. You got to get it done in the search and destroy, but it's a celebration from NYSL after the map 1 win. We've got search up after the quick break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the US Army. What's your warrior? The new Code Battle Dog Pack is free for military service members and veterans, courtesy of USAA. Scan the QR code or visit callofdutyleague.com/USAA to redeem.
We're back and getting prepped for a search and destroy. We're going to be heading to Miami. I think what we both consider a must-win map now for LAG if they're going to have a chance of pushing this the distance. Keys to victory up from Game Fuel. Talk me through Guerrillas, Joe.
Well, S&D's got to be better. 4-6 in stage 3. They were competitive in the respawns. Look at this, 6-6 in hardpoint, 3-4 control. I know that's nothing to brag about or crazy, but what that means is they were competitive enough to get that to a game 5, and we saw that. They got to 3 of them. They just lost 3 in a row. 1 or 2 of those turn into wins, they're only 20 points back of the AC. And Assault, you need him to play well. He had a really good stage 3. That map 1, not what I was looking for.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on, yeah, with breaking this down and what maybe they can do. The search and destroy, well, we get to the game 2 now. You've got to win it. You got to find a way to make this a competitive series, and it's tough because you're going against a better team. You are right now. It's going to be a big upset if they can get it done, but now game fuel keys to victory on the NYSL side.
Well, control has to be a huge focus for this team. If they want to be a complete team, that is where they can be better. 2-7 in stage 3. Continue to improve in S&D with this new roster, right? I know it got better, but they're still 8th in S&D defensive round, so there's still some things to work on. They can expand that map pool and stay strong on hardpoint. I think that, you know, we always talk about focus on weaker parts of the game, but when that happens, we've seen teams lose their strengths a little bit. And, well, we saw in that map 1, they're still a very good hardpoint team. So throughout the stage, I want to see them still be one of the better hardpoint teams that we've seen. I think they will be. But, you know, when you put so much focus elsewhere, that, you know, that can drop off at times.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning, I was surprised how, you know, quick they became a well-rounded team. But, yeah, I guess I'm off on the sense it's, you know, 4 out of 5 they are. But that control really isn't great yet. And from what we've seen from any of our winners of these majors, whether it was Ultra or FaZe, the control has been very, very good, right?
Yeah, I mean, they lost in the grand final. They lost 2 controls to Atlanta FaZe. I think 2 hard points, or 2 S&Ds and 1 hard point. Against the best teams, you're not always going to guarantee that you win 2 hard points. We even saw in the winners final. They split the hard points. What happens? They win both search and destroys. They win that game 5. That's how they get to the grand final.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. I think against lesser opponents or teams they should beat, yeah, the hard point it can carry them through more than likely. But yeah, it's when the battle gets a little bit tougher. That's not always going to be the case. You're gonna end up splitting them probably more often than not, especially, you know, each team gets a pick, right? But right into the search, Guerrillas desperately needing a victory here. See if they can open things off on the right foot with an offensive round victory.
Look at this round. Look at this defense from NYSL. This is so fast through B. It's a 4-man B hit. You have 2 players lower dock side. They're just hoping that they do not commit fast to A, and they have not. You have 2 players just sitting outside. Going to be Apathy and Assault waiting for this flank.
And that's one thing that we've seen teams struggle with against LAG sometimes. Like, they like to slow it down, right? Play with so much patience. How can you try and counter that? They just decide they're going to hit it. They do go 1 for 1, so we'll be into a 3 versus 3, but the information comes in for LAG, and they're going to get quickly over to this A site. Should be
they know a couple of players are there. They just don't know how many. They haven't cleared A, right? So they had to take their time to clear A. You finally get the bomb down. But Assault is on an island and at least finds 1, and this is huge. The fact that he's able to get away with his life. He's already wasted 10 seconds off of that clock just by doing this, and they have to hunt him down. Silly, though, does get taken down, and that's huge. So now it's a 1v2 for Cheen. I thought Silly would just be backed by Cheen, but he's not. He gets a little bit pushed up and gets caught.
Cheen puts it to a 1 versus 1. Just trying to get the read on where it's coming from. Mack, the advantage. As he gets the call out as his teammate drops, and Mack able to take it, close it out. Yeah, that went from what, a 3v2 for Guerrillas down to a 2v1 for Subliners, and then ultimately into the 1v1, but Mack makes it look easy.
Yeah, I just think that's a huge mistake for me. I mean, Assault is basically by himself. You're trying to save him here, so you're trying to be the lifeguard, but you don't need to be. You want him to just sort of waste the time like he was doing. Going for that save costed them the round. Right, you can just hold that staircase heady right next to A. You would force NYSL to push you, have Cheen watch over you. Instead, you leave Cheen in a 1v2.
Yeah, you think it's one of those situations where a teammate's like, I need help, and you see to be like, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's got to know his position there. Like, that's it.
But I bet that's what happened. He's probably getting call-outs from Assault, and he's like, I'll help. But he gets caught. Asim ends up taking down both as he is 3-1. An incredible first round out of him, and the clutch by Mack. I mean, pretty similar from what we saw from Guerrillas on offense, just looking for an opening.
Well, one of the teams got a lot better at on this map is really working the middle of the map on offense. how spread the defense can be towards that B side, that can be an opening. If Assault gets a bad timing, rotating back and forth, and he's actually getting a bad timing, maybe helping his teammate out towards A. Does he reposition Gene? At least able to find one. But NYSL take that all day, but 28 seconds left, and come down to this clock at times. Asim able to get across, somehow still alive and put some shots in, and Clay able to catch one on the rotation.
Nice snap there by Clay. Comes down to Assault. They still got to plant the bomb, but not going to matter. The final player falls. 2-0 now to NYSL. I heard you get excited about Asim. He's had a hot start.
Well, I mean, that was just ridiculous shots, right? I thought he was dead for sure. I thought all he was doing was trying to slide to that box, force some shots out, and then have a player challenge. But he ended up like sliding and hitting some bullets, almost winning that gunfight. That forces Assault to back down. That opens up that bomb site. And then Clay, just a great job on the two players rotating from B.
We'll see if Guerrillas changed anything this time through on offense. Yeah, well, instantly. Not going to be as passive this time. Looks like it's going to be a quick B hit. And look at the minimap for NYSL. Once again, flooding through B. It is going to be a mess here around the point. Clay with the first blood. Silly, though, gets through and gets both. An awkward fight for Asim with the melees in. He's 6-1 on 3 in a row. And the action halts for a moment.
I don't know if in like VOD review or they're just trying something, but I'm digging it. They're like, all right, go ahead and plan A. We'll just retake it. And maybe that's what NYSL is trying to do. Not give up this B plant. Force them to go towards A and take middle of the map for them. But early on in this round, as you said, Silly's able to find 2. Makes it a 2v2. And now they have to work something.
Nice shots.
That's a little work right there.
Asim, though, he has been frying, and he gets in behind 1 versus 1 again. 7-1. 4-kill streak. Can he make it 5? I love it. Little drop shot. Can't snap in time. Good play from Assault to get LAG on the board. Yeah, that's traded.
Really, this
that's
changes.
traded.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that round's probably over.
But it wasn't. And then in the 2v2, Assault's able to find those picks.
What, the Assault carry and the Asim carry so far, they account for a large portion of their team's kills. And you got more of a default kind of 2-on-1 or 2-2 split out of LAG. So you'll have numbers here if you're NYSL. How quickly can you rotate for the help of your Guerrillas? We know Silly has had some incredible plays from that back dumpster. He gets to that position, turns into a superhero.
You see Asim right there. Like, basically, from his point of view, he's just calling out the trophies. He might be pinging them for his teammates just to let them know. But with Engineer on, doesn't want to shoot quite yet. Trying to get the trophy, the objective. Silly, he oversteps.
Well, even superheroes have weaknesses, Joe.
Yeah, this is bullets to the head.
Yeah. I think most people's weakness. They've got the 3v2. They use the numbers. Now, Sheen and App are going to come, and App, I was going to say, a little bit ahead, but he's able to get a pick and get out. Puts it into a 2v2 now. They're going to flood through the backside together. HyDra just gets his head whisked right off. Mack already clutched the 1v1, trying to clutch up in a 1v2. Not going to happen. It's the 2v3 retake for Sheen and App to bring us all square.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it seems hoping to get out, but, you know, him getting caught there, not a huge deal. You still get the bomb down in a power position, right? I mean, how many times have we seen ridiculous rounds out of the player just defending the site from low docks? But Guerrillas, as soon as they have an idea where they're going to go, they reposition, and Sheen with some beautiful shots. HyDra's just shouldering that back and forth, trying to get the information. He knows the push could be coming from the flank, and then Mack just, well, he ends up getting caught in that 1v2.
Yeah, maybe you both just get to that back dock.
Yeah, honestly.
It seems like unkillable, but yeah, I think he was probably trying to play a little bit of a different position, but like, that was just too easy for Sheen. I mean, it's nice shots, but it's so hard to rip somebody off that. Well, especially when there's multiple. looks aggressive out of Asim. Yeah, he gets tagged up and then finished. So he was trying to get to the boat. Not going to happen. Now you've got the early numbers. If you're Guerrillas, and Sheen is not missing. What is this?
Well, and I saw some, I think it was Zero was tweeting about it with like map 1, like Assault using the QBZ. He's crazy with the Krig buff that just came in on these servers. Him not using a Krig is insane.
Well,
and,
yeah,
there
with the
you see
headshot.
an idea why.
Well, it was the headshot multiplier has always been, but like, it was bullet velocity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see a buff 2. It looks really good. But now, Mack last alive, I think, for the 3rd time. This is the toughest situation he's had. Wins a 1-on-1, loses a 1v2. Now he needs the kills and the defuse. Or maybe a sneaky ninja in the 1v3. None of that's going to happen. 3 straight round wins for Guerrillas.
That just starts with that first blood, though, right? Because then Clay has to rotate over, then Sheen's able to find him. But teams have gotten much better because that boat position has become so powerful for defensive teams, right? As soon as you get to it, you have someone watch over him, his back bar cross. He can see the entire middle of the map. He can even pick someone who's pushing up towards the front of B. It's almost impossible to deal with, but we've seen teams with nades, with tacticals, even right there, just right off the start of the round, not allowing Asim get to that spot. A nice job by Guerrillas.
Well, apparently they're also not allowing Asim to move. I'm a little worried there's an issue.
Okay.
Well, we saw on the 3rd person cam for a second there, he wasn't moving. And now his arrow is still in the same spot. Oh, there he goes. Okay, maybe he ran to the bathroom. I have no idea. I was so worried that there was a problem, but he's moving again. All right. Now, we'll see how that changes things if he's a little behind the setup.
It's offense on Miami. You always take your time. It's always a last-second plan.
Good point. You don't need the first 10 seconds.
But Sheen is at this spot, though. That might have changed things if maybe they had the ability to deal with him. But I think with that, you see the call. It's kind of like, all right, we have to just go towards B.
Yeah, that's the one guy you really want to have playing right now. Is he's got 7 kills. Granted, he had those through like the first 3 rounds. Struggled since then, and Silly back to his sweet spot this time. Able to find the opener. Clay, gone. Asim, gone. HyDra, bye-bye. Mack, again, last alive. They're just making it tougher. 1v1, then a 1v2, then a 1v3, now 1v4. He's going through the cycle of being all by himself on Miami.
He's trying to just get better with his survival instincts, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's... I was hoping Asim said, I think I'm good now, so...
Yeah, maybe it's just a controller issue, or who knows? Something.
Who knows?
Yeah, I got my heart skipped a beat when I saw like he just wasn't moving when everyone else ran away. I was like, oh dear God.
Well, I just didn't know one of those things where like I don't know. Obviously the positions where you could just get like stuck sometimes. I was like, oh,
yeah,
you slide and you get like stuck on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been tough, but well, it didn't really matter. They got to the spot and Guerrillas were able to hold. HyDra a rough start at 1-5. And really balanced on the other side. It was all assault early. The rest of the team picking it up, and well, they won 4 straight as a result. Can he answer back? Now's the time to do it if you're NYSL. They don't have that 4-man aggressive stack towards B, a little bit more towards the default setup, and Guerrillas, they're all here at B, ready to pounce.
Yeah, when is Clay going to come over? Maybe with those trophies coming down. Now he's going to start his rotation. Mack trying to watch across the bomb. He's just going to deal with the trophy.
I don't think Silly meant to mantle there. I thought Mack was going to get a freebie.
And they're just trying to nade him. Oh, but there's another trophy. This is the one from up top blocking those. I think it is. Just trying to deal with Silly so they have the man advantage, but he played his life for so long.
Yeah, I mean, there's 15 seconds off the bomb already.
Oh,
seeing that timing
so well.
Ooh, that is painful.
Just one more second. Yeah. Okay.
Mack hits his shots. Assault gonna get dropped. Apathy left alone. Nice little drop shot from App. 1v2. 13 seconds to go. He's got a streak.
Yes,
he's got a streak. That'll close the round. Good luck. Bang! It hits. When did he get that? 7 in a row from App. 5 in a row. for the team. I thought NYSL were bringing it back, but not against Papa App.
Well, he's just been in that position time and time again, just playing top purple, just waiting for the push. The plant comes in, he gets a free kill. The artillery able to land. He knows that they have to hop the defuse, and if he gets one, it's probably the round, able to clutch it out, and now he's on 9 in a row because he found the final kill.
Well, at one point, it was like Assault had, when I brought up he was carrying, he had like 5, and I think one teammate had 2 and one had 1 or something like that. And then, yeah, I mentioned they were all bringing it back. I just didn't know Apathy hadn't died since I said that.
That's crazy too, because Asim, if he holds that angle for 1 more second, App doesn't get those streaks, they probably win that round.
So that ends up being like, if he gets 2 before the time runs out, that's an insane ace. Yeah, from lucky timing to killing all 4 and getting streaks, just what a moment that was. But onto the bomb, go NYSL. No answer for Guerrillas since the opening round. Peekaboo, here he comes, snap back, Silly. Making the plays, HyDra all alone. That's a nasty gunfight win, but simply too many players there. And we said this was a must win for Guerrillas. Well, they get the W. They tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, able to win those rounds out. Some good plays from all the individuals. Don't know what was going on, but hopefully they get that figured out. But I mean, for Guerrillas, you know, they needed to win a search and destroy. That's where they had to get better and stay competitive in these matches. But now you go to, you know, the Control in Moscow, a hardpoint where they're 2-10 combined on those maps.
Yeah, again, why we put so much emphasis on the beginning of this series. They at least go 1-1, but now, yeah, you've got one of your, worst maps. You're gonna have to take. We'll see if they can do it. But look at the stats quickly on the 6-2 victory for LAG. Apathy, so he was 1-4. Wait, it says highest streak 8. Did it say 9 in game, or I just make that up? Oh, maybe it was 8. Okay,
I'm
so
pretty sure it was 9. No, it was 9.
I thought it showed 9.
Yeah,
so
9.
He was 0-4 or 1-4, and he ends up 9-4. I mean, he took over.
Yeah, he really did. Some great plays from him. Just great patience from the Guerrillas. Winning offenses, winning defenses when they need to. And for NYSL, just got to bounce back now. Some things to work on, but that's what you have group stage matches for, right? The positions that they've been in.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the U.S. Army tactical play. It's going to be that crazy round from Apathy, and I said it was over because unless it was Attach, who famously ran through an artillery, I didn't see how the guy on the bomb was going to survive that. Like, it's just, he put it right on the bomb, and you see him there trying to hit it. But this is the timing. So Asim is holding this. Great read. Look at this timing. Oh, that makes you sick.
Yeah, just 1 more second, right? He's waiting for the pinch. Maybe someone's going to hop over that wall through middle of the map, and if he holds that, the round is done. Because Mack hit some beautiful beams. Just ridiculous. And then when Clay goes for this kill on that quick trade, that's the round. And, well, the artillery comes in. HyDra's looking for him, and App's like, nope, I'm right here. Unreal stuff from Papa App.
Yeah, I didn't remember. It took me a second to realize it was the ace because I was blown away he had the streak to begin with. But he went to call that in. I was like, what? What a play from Apathy. Unbelievable stuff. They win 6 straight rounds. LAG now on the board. We'll see if they can take the control, take command of this series after the break.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Zenny, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Zenny Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenny.com/gaming.
Welcome back to the Game Fuel Marquee match. We get ready for a control, and before we get into it, we're going to talk a little bit about HyDra and the impact he has had on this team. He has been sensational. We're just going to take a look at kind of before and after for him and what he's been able to do, and then chat a little bit about the control, because as much as we were talking about later in the series being worse for the Guerrillas, as you said, control is not the best for NYSL either.
Yeah, and I think for HyDra and what we probably want to see, what NYSL probably wants to see is consistency, right? You know, throughout stage 3, you get a great stage out of him, phenomenal stage, but you can obviously see the difference he made immediately with HyDra. I mean, 13-2 in hardpoint, 8-6 in search and destroy, but control is the one place they have to work on. But yeah, I mean, for us, it's always about like how consistent can he be? Can he be a superstar?
Well, and yeah, for HyDra and the team, I guess for you and I, control had to have been a big spot of focus coming into this stage. It just had to have been for this team. I know this is just going to be, you can't take a lot from one match, but I guess I want to see some improvements, even though it's not against a strong control team. Like, this is one I feel like they should dominate if they've really been prepping and working on their control game.
Yeah, and they're going to try and see, obviously, throughout matches, what maps they're best on, you know, where they can really look at. But here you see, the big thing is they're slaying just overall in that game mode. So can they step it up a notch, or what do they need to change maybe to make slaying a little bit easier for some of their main slayers on this squad, whatever that may be, whatever system they have to set up. Yeah, they know it, because like we said, if you look at Atlanta FaZe stage 1 and stage 3, Toronto Ultra stage 2, especially throughout the major, they dominated in search and control. NYSL have to know that.
Yeah, it has to be a huge point of focus is play, just some breathing exercises to get prepped and ready for this map 3. Not the best search. Hopefully Asim has whatever issues he was working through solved, and we'll have a thrilling control. Yeah, I don't know how you focus to make this slaying easier, right? Like, the opening break's huge, positioning's everything, but it's just weird how talented they are to see, you know, I guess in hardpoint, how amazing their slaying is, why it dips off so bad in control.
Well, and I think too, just like how quickly they react to things on hardpoint. How can they get to that point in control?
That's true, yeah.
Because, you know, there are a lot of those scenarios of, okay, kills here, what happens, right? How do we want to react? And with how complex a game mode like hardpoint can be and how good they've been at it, when can they build that system inside this game mode?
Yeah, because you hear the comms, they're so good, right? That's such a huge thing in any mode. You think it would set them up for success in something like control, but it is a good opener. They're looking for the 4th and final player. They might go 4 for 1. Silly dancing a bit there to at least take down 1 before he drops, but solid start from NYSL.
Yeah,
who did we see them destroy here? Was it Mutineers? I casted them on this launch. They were just lights out.
Don't remember.
Who they play first or second back at the major? I think it was Mutineers, and they just annihilated them here. Like, they won the opening break and then just didn't take the foot off the gas.
That sounds familiar. It sounds like you're right.
I'm looking it up because I believe it was, and I was blown away. It was just, they were so good.
Yeah, but so far so good. And as I say, I thought Silly did a pretty good job at least buying time, maybe for his teammates to get out of spawn. They end up getting traded, and now 20 seconds left. They're down 5 in lives, but that's not really the key here. The key here is the time. The Mack. Why are we stopped shooting at these guys? I don't know what's going on. But Asim and HyDra just like stopped there. Thought they had some freebies. It gets a little bit messy, and now Guerrillas on the point.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the Mutineers match. Just they 3-0'd him so fast here. But Sheen, everything's hitting the hip fire included. Or sorry, Assault. And he catches HyDra before he can get across. You're still looking for your first bit of progress. They've had one person on it, Sheen, throughout the course of this, but you've at least got some players in a forward position now for Guerrillas.
And you know, what do you want to do here if you're NYSL? You have teams like Ultra, when a position like this is given up, they just sort of go into their standard defense at A, but NYSL, they find the pace in the middle of the map. You get the players off the point, and that is that first defensive round. Favor of NYSL. It's just right off the start, right? I mean, just to break all the map control Guerrillas, just have to fight out of that spawn.
Yeah, that's really what stuck with me from that Mutineers match. Well, really in the Search, because they won the Search 6-0, and they won this 3-0, and they just seemed so well prepped, right? Like, the breaks were incredible here. Whether it was offense or defense, they were so good. They seem to be a step ahead at all times, as they leave Apathy with a goose egg after a round. We'll see if they can continue it here. Good start. Can they do it on the other side of things? And what's going to be their plan of attack? They are just sending it.
Oh, so they're trying to go towards A. They're trying to all just to get top green control. Trying off different breaks, different strategies. Sometimes only one player will play towards that A site on defense, and it puts a lot of pressure on them, because if you get out towards A, right, then there's a rotation throughout the middle of the map. The defense, do we want to give up middle of the map? Do you want to go back towards A? Let's just leave up to the spawn player. That pauses the clock, gives the offensive team some time to work with. But Guerrillas, similar to what we saw from round 1 out of NYSL, locking things down right now.
Yeah. I mean, they had a clear plan of attack. Just unfortunately, there were 2 players there. They get smoked. Now, how do they get back to it? Guerrillas, I mean, it's such a good start, but look how much faster it feels like NYSL are back into mid-map, back onto an objective. Clayster's
well, they
picking
get 4
people
dead with no trades. That's really it. As I was talking, 3 players died.
Yeah. Just so quick. You know, the whole thing there, right? Like, you get those great kills off the start, you should have some luxury, some time to milk off the clock and pin them back, but it didn't.
I'm gonna get aggressive here. Sheen's able to find 2, so they're thinking we can retake B. Right, there's only 1 player on it. Do they want to try and contest one last second? Apathy's going to get aggressive. The contest is in. He's going to get on the point, so they are going for it right now. CDL is also there to help with them, and all right, now they got to back down. 2 players down, but this is where that rotation over, right? You have no one set up. Number 5, Sheen, is the first one there, and they're already out on the point.
And that is an example of where you get caught. Yes, you send it, you try to make that last second desperation play, and one of 2 things usually happens. You clutch up, you take more time off the clock, or this, where everybody dies, they get the point, and seconds later, the second objective is done. And that's an example of a gamble that just does not pay off.
And I think this is those 2 kills, and then they decide to go. And they just end up getting caught. And what they could do here instead of going for this is you could leave Mack on the point, and you could take top tank control. You can continue to control the middle of the map and keep them spawned in, even if they get beat. But they go for the risk to try to contest that, and that turns into them dying, trying to get a little bit aggressive, which opens up A for NYSL.
And that's just control in general, not just here, right? Like, we've seen it on Raid, wherever. Like, you try to make the play for the first point, next thing you know, the round's over. It happens so fast. Apathy, dude, this is not his game right now, unfortunately. He was the hero of map 2, but he has 1 kill through 2 rounds. That's brutal.
That's not good.
That is brutal.
His teammates are getting kills, though, so if they get some progress at B very early on, you have 2 players on it. That's going to be Cellium and Assault. Already 2 takes done. Well, now NYSL, do they want to go for this? It looks like they might. It seems kind of toying with this. They have top green control. He's going to be done, but this is what I mean. They're just playing for the middle of the map now. So even though there's 2 minutes on the clock, they can still play for this spawn trap and keep Guerrillas all the way back here.
Yep. I mean, basically doing exactly what you were talking about. And there's 2 minutes to go, though. You do have 1 extra life here if you're Guerrillas. Not much of an advantage, obviously. Well, I just wonder, you know, if they close this out 3-0 and you saw the match versus Mutineers, I mean, you could feel happy, I guess, if you're a Subliners fan. Maybe they found a control they like, but then if that starts to get banned, what's going to be the other one where they can improve? Because they haven't really won many controls.
Oh, I think Garrison's a good focal point for them because I think, Atlanta FaZe, they veto checkmate control almost every single time. Ultra, you don't want to play them on raid, right? So this is that map where you can certainly guarantee you're probably going to play Atlanta FaZe and Toronto Ultra. And those are the two teams right now that we think they are going to compete with.
And that, I just have a follow-up question to that. And, you know, your experience as a pro, is that sort of all of your focus? It's not really about necessarily even your team overall, but just you think of the top dogs. Who are we going to have to go through if we're going to win? And you prep around that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, not all the time. Obviously, you're thinking about your overall game plan, but I think for a group stage match and we want to work on things, where is our map pool? What do we need to get good at? Yeah, you are looking at the future of those matchups for sure.
Okay. I figured. I mean, that's how you think you're going to have to beat to win a tournament. What maps can we get good at that'll help us with that?
Yeah, if you don't think after stage 2 Atlanta FaZe are saying, okay, what do we need to improve on to beat Toronto Ultra in the future, then you're lying, because that's exactly what they were doing.
Yep, yeah, 100%. There's 30 seconds remaining. Guerrillas, they've got to get A, or it's going to be a 3-0 in this map. We'll head to a hard point as Subliners. So far, so good. This is probably going to be the final push. That hit HyDra in the teeth. Oh my God, and is that going to be the opening? It's a baseball right to the face, but it's Clay through on the flank. Clay gets 2. Last guy is Cheen. I thought he was dead, but he wins it. But can he win another? Because now it's HyDra's turn. They're sprinting in. Can they get there in time? 5 seconds to go. Can somebody touch it? Not going to happen. NYSL take the control. 3-0. They look strong there as they continue to try and improve for maybe another finals run.
Yeah, and I think that for them, it was maybe whatever was happening with the team in map 2, maybe a little bit frustrating. You saw Clay before this kind of meditating and just refocusing on what they could control, and that was control, where they were able to win that 3-0, and now they go to Hardpoint Moscow, where they're 6-3, Guerrillas 1-5. They're looking to close the series out.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not sure who is more frustrating to, the player dealing with the issues or the teammates listening to the player deal with the issues. I have issues all the time, and I'm not sure it's more pissed me or you sometimes when we're playing. But they get the win. They take it 3-0 through the first 2 rounds. I mean, just beautiful starts. And then the one where they were up against it a little bit, they answer so fast, right? Like they don't get pinned. They don't allow a massive life advantage to go the way of Guerrillas. It looks really solid all around there on Garrison.
Yeah, able to win both their defensive rounds. But you see, as you said, just not the best map for Apathy. NYSL side, I mean, just so even across the board. Nice teamwork out of them.
Well, it's got to be. I mean, I'm sure these go hand in hand. Like for the most part, the breaks were good for Subliners. The power positions to Subliners. I mean, Apathy was just sprinting into fights, right? Like they didn't have control for most of that map. If you're a player like Apathy, what are you supposed to do? It's not possible to get kills. And yes, you can do better than that 1-11 start, but it's not easy, especially against a team of NYSL's caliber. Now, they go up 2-1, looking to close it out in the hard point. We head to Moscow off the big NYSL win. We'll be back after a quick break.
CDL holding the line. What a start. Assault. Wow. 1, 2. Woohoo! Give it to him. No! Non-stop, dude. They've got nowhere to run.
Now the victory lap.
Oh, no. The New York Subliners. This is basically a brand new roster for the Subliners. All things have changed, and here we go. Clay once again comes up clutch.
He is the true veteran.
Diamond Con, oh, keeping this run going.
Asim has really been having himself a hell of a series.
Mack popping up in the feed. Shout out to Mack, that was a killer two-piece. And a fantastic end to the round there for New York.
We are back with the Game Fuel Marquee match. NYSL up 2-1 after a convincing win. In the control now, well, one of the best hardpoint teams in the game looked to close it out. And who was great in that map one? It was Mack. 25 and 15, nearly 2 minutes in the hardpoint.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been incredible for this team. I know a lot of attention's been on HyDra, Clay right behind him, but Mack, you know, when he moved in that flex role, just got better and better and better. He just seems to be so comfortable now. The player that they were expecting him to be, right? Obviously, they picked him up last year, instantly improves the squad this year. A little bit different with his roles, but now gets back to where he's comfortable.
Yeah, doing his thing. It's going to be tough. You know, you've got the flashy players or loud players on the other side. He's just doing his thing on the roster. But Gene, yeah, one of the lone bright spots really in that map one. He had the far out. We saw some nice plays, nice wall bangs from him, but they couldn't quite get it done. Cheat has been solid, but the big thing is, yeah, well, I guess there's a lot of things that LEG needs to work on right now, but the control, they really haven't found one that, well, they haven't found two that work for them. One, that's just going to get banned every time. They haven't found like a second that they can consistently play well on.
Yeah, and I think for Guerrillas, like you see his stats there, him and Assault were great last stage. I think we're just like you're trying to find maybe a little bit more is between the two subs, and it's not necessarily in the hardpoint. Like I said, they were 6 and 6 in hardpoint last stage. Competitive with teams, 50-50. But where Apathy and Cellium really struggled was in search and destroy and control. I mean, in search, Apathy and Cellium had right around a 0.85. In control, it was right around a 0.8, 0.85 or so. So that's where that sub duo really needs to come together. But our point, they've been really solid as a squad ever since Change joined.
Yeah, I mean, the 50-50 is probably not that big of a deal. They can just get that one lockdown mode and make control, well, it'd probably be search, right? Make control just okay. Like, hardpoint and control are both 50-50 and they're a good search team. They'll be able to upset just about anyone. But can they get to that?
Well, speaking of hardpoint being around 50-50, they need this one to get us to that game 5.
See what they can do off this opening break. Tacticals out everywhere on both teams. Then we'll wait the jump to come in. That may look to be good, but it's Mack through on a flank, and the flank will pay off. Last guy, Apathy, at top Eskies, and he's going to back up after a nice nade in from Mack. Once the call out comes in, another nice opening out of NYSL.
Yeah, and someone on Guerrillas was watching. I think they get really bad timing waiting on the flank. And it's obviously difficult if you're Guerrillas, because what is NYSL thinking? We have the good side. We're not going to make the first push. We'll just contest this and wait for you to come to us. So at least that's what they're probably thinking. Someone's watching the flank. They look away for a second. Boom, Mack able to find the opening. That gives them a very clean break. But Guerrillas fight on back. 10 seconds left. Rotation, NYSL controlling it. But Silly trying to find some kills before this next hill pops.
I'm curious, how much of a prep thing is that? In the sense of, you know, as a player, they have a timing in their head of when that flank's going to come. And then if you're on the other side, you know that, and you maybe stagger it by a couple of seconds. Like, how much of a mind game is that?
A lot. Big one? Yeah, a big one for sure.
Yeah,
but the spawns, nobody played safe.
Oh, no. Oh, no. They all are going to pop up. Surprise. The spawn is in for Guerrillas. Can NYSL scrape out of this? Asim doing his best to do it as he takes down 2. But nobody deep, and Guerrillas now in the point. What could have been a massive lead for NYSL, not going to be the case.
Yes, I mean, we've seen that a couple of times, right? It's a little bit different with that bottom police spawn because it's behind the structure. You know, sometimes just with your line of sight, you can block spawns. Sometimes they can be open, and that is one where you want someone, at least top police or bottom, playing a little bit safety that doesn't happen for NYSL. They get a little aggressive. They get caught. Are they on the rotation, finding those kills? It's a 2v2 though right now. HyDra and Mack should come out on top, and they do. And now they have a great idea with Asim's position, top escalators, where Guerrillas are pushing from.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried that was going to, that first domino with the spawn at second, that was going to get out of hand because, what, 2 spawn back? If they lose that, things start to unravel, but they now get a semblance of control, and they're set up nicely. Well, HyDra gets the kill and the information that CDL's tucked away, so he's like, I'm going to reposition right into Asim. Beautiful stuff there from NYSL.
And just finding the information of, all right, where are they spawning? Right? Where's that first push going to come from? Getting a little aggressive towards the middle of the map, but now Asim, our Marquee field feature player, locking things down. He's right around double positive. Has had a great series so far. His teammates are rotating. He's almost on 5 in a row, but he's up to 10 and 5 in this game.
Guerrillas, they're on the outside looking in. When it comes to chance and getting top 8, they need points and they need them bad. They were, what, getting to map 5 after map 5. When you think of last stage, can they do it again here? Unfortunately, they're going up against one of the more dominant hardpoint teams in the game. And they push them to the brink. Let's go to an Astro listen-in. Los Angeles Guerrillas.
Cross. Trying to make sure they're not flipping on us. Office. Hey, HyDra.
Have your cut.
Alright, bust and cut.
Hey.
Nice, bust HyDra. Bust HyDra hurt. He's in the right door, standing in. He should be dead. I'm nading over. No trophy.
No globe.
Asim, one shot.
Absolutely. One shot.
Cut out, laying down. Laying down.
He's out. No, he's office window.
Yeah. We're rotating. I try to rotate here.
One guy rotate mid, Asim. I know HyDra dead.
Nice, Clay with office. He might be
hit me
hallway.
Asim tall. He's
Hold straight.
Coming, Justin. I don't see him. I think he's repping Eskies.
Another one in busted old man.
Right
Eskies tree. I'm going Eskies.
Gotta go through.
He's already Eskies.
Hall in Eski.
Sim, Eski, he might push through.
You gotta pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
I'm looking at Eski from hill. One street. No one street, Clay. I got them both.
Nice. I'm watching T2.
Hallway and Eski's last 2.
Sim is
Eski. Still there. He's in the middle of Eskies. He ran back up, I think.
Need a trophy or good?
Hey, yeah, we need one. Street on me. Fuck, I couldn't see that.
Globe down. I gotta push up.
Max globe. Max outer globe.
He's top.
I'm
dead from ticket. He's red. Yellow tree.
Ryan Hill. I don't see him.
I'm coming straight. Try to stay up.
I'm coming through the hole.
Eski's dead.
Jump.
I need to ticket.
Oh, you killed the left. He hit the left. He's going back to ticket.
Sim dead.
Going back to ticket side. He's laying down.
He's up laying down. Yep.
I can't see him.
He's on him.
Sean,
He's on the halfway. Jumping.
I'm premium plat.
I'm dead. He's plat again.
He's low plat now.
Low plat.
Chest one straight.
Low plat dead.
Get down hill.
He has a trophy. He's their side low plat.
Plat Sim. Absolutely
dead. They're getting switch.
Wide Eskies again.
Low Clay. Absolute low. Dead.
HyDra Mack.
He's on. I don't. Back van moving.
Moving dead.
That's on fly right now.
Go deep copper top.
Plat.
Mid. Just run from that perimeter.
Back up. 3 times.
I'm sliding across.
Top cop as well.
Yo, plat one.
Tree, top copy tree.
Plat one yellow for sure.
Safe.
He's still mid.
Top copy tree.
One
shot, top cop, absolute Mack.
Oh, I thought for a second there they might have the opening, but Mack just taking off heads. This time they play it deep, but is it going to matter? There's a fighter on the hard point. Nobody going to be in. Sheen able to get the final kill and try to get some time. But the rest of NYSL still soaring on forward. The only person rotating as of now is Apathy. And where you had what last map? Apathy couldn't get rolling. Kind of Silly's been in that same boat this game. I think it's 7 and 15 right now, but you end up getting the final bit of time if you're NYSL. Now we'll focus on the rotation. We'll be up just over 40 points.
I feel it's really plagued Guerrillas this year. Even when they had Vivid on the roster, it just felt like Vivid and App were taking turns as a sub. Like, just one wasn't playing the best, but one was doing pretty solid. And you've kind of had the same thing here at times with Apathy and Silly. Not sure exactly what it is, but no, you never want that. You never want someone to always have a bad map. But on that rotation, pretty darn good. That's going to be 4 dead. That is clean from the Guerrillas.
Well, it's like the opposite. Just to hate to use them on the opposite side of it. It's like the opposite thing with FaZe. It's like, who's going to pop off, right? Like when you watch the finals run, Cellium would have that map. He was crazy. Then it was Arcitys. Then it's aBeZy. Then it's Simp. Like, has some pop off. Here it's just like, who's going to not pop off? who's going to
get
struggle.
dumpstered, yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes, which is not the issue you want to have. And I know it's difficult for everyone to have a big game, but there's a difference between big game and double, triple negative.
100%, but it was looking like NYSL were controlling this rotation and getting that scrap time. But Guerrillas do a really good job rotating through. They had 3 players on the street, but HyDra making sure they have bus control, bank control, and now here comes the NYSL push. Dilly
nice
trying to stay down, but his trophies are gone, and when your trophies are gone, that means nades are going to hit, and then Mack repositions, and with this, they have a crossfire set up towards the front of the hill.
We showed how he's kind of been their guy in full control, but just in general, how much he's been picking it up, and man, he's doing it here. He had a great game 1 hard point, now 21-14. Not much of a lead right now for NYSL. Guerrillas have played them very, very tough. And they keep doing it and close it out down the stretch. But 5 in a row for HyDra. I thought it was maybe number 6, but nice shots from Sheen.
The last 2 players just going to rotate on over. The Asim's position, he's making sure no one goes through up top escalators. Nobody maybe trying to flip the spawns for first. He's locking down the street. You don't have anyone on the hill right now. But they're just trying to find the kills. I think Asim's finally going to rotate on down. The spawns come behind. I don't think NYSL is going to be ready for this. Okay, I lied. Of course they are.
Yeah, nobody back there. As soon as the spawns were coming in, you just saw them instantly snap back. And well, that's where it comes down to really communication. And the one thing we didn't talk about after the listen-in is the listen-in was great. We talked about the small talk, and one thing that they were so good about was just calling out spawns. It was impeccable. Really, where they wanted to funnel them, where they were popping up, where they needed to hit. It was a treat to listen to. I'm sure it was similar there.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Okay, we have 3-4 dead. We've seen this in scrims before, right, or in matches. They could spawn behind us. We don't have anyone all the way back there.
Ooh.
Is HyDra able to connect with that nade and find 2? 2 players do go down, though. This will allow Guerrillas at least some breathing room to put pressure on the second hill. But as soon as I say that, Clay from the bus in the globe will lock this down. Now Guerrillas have to go through the front.
Yeah, this is now you're in an awkward spot, right? They're over the 200-point mark. You want to break, but if you don't get it with this first break, do you send it again because they're going to be so close to winning? Do you go ahead and rotate? Because they're what? They can close it out unless there's a contest. You still have to contest at least a little bit here, but soon you're going to have to make a choice. Because if you give it up and rotate, they're going to get so close to victory if they don't just close it out right now. And they might just close it out right now.
See him popping off 28-15. The slaying has really stepped up the second half of this game.
I thought the decision was going to be hard. It's not, because they had to go. It's not hard at all because they don't get in, they lose. It's a flawless hold to close it out. I thought it was going to come down to this difficult decision of rotating. No, they just lock it down. What a great hold from NYSL. And you were saying there that the slaying picked up. Yeah, I feel like every POV we walked to or went to was getting 2 or 3 kills. Every time we hopped around.
And I think at one point, Apathy and Cellium, they were right around the same number, 11 and 13 and 15 through 18. I think they both finished 15 and 25 and 11 and 25. So I don't think they got a kill for some time. And, well, that turns into NYSL still doing their thing, winning both hard points, a convincing win for them.
And you look good. You look good in the control. I think there's a lot to feel really good about if you're an NYSL fan. It's just, I don't know. We're not always right, obviously, as commentators or analysts, in knowing what a team's ceiling is, or if they're going to get better, or if they need to make a change. Sometimes people are throwing darts. It's a guessing game, but it really, really feels like this team has so much potential to get better. I can't wait to watch them over the next couple of months, man.
I think it's just when you're listening to them, they have a system. They understand the game so well. Maybe if there was a couple of one-off series where a player was popping off, but throughout this year, they have all been so darn good. They really have. So I think we kind of know their ceiling. They are going to be a top 3, top 4 team from here on out.
Yeah. Well, look at that game from Asim, 29 and 15, and Sometimes you feel for the guy because he has, you know, the new guy on the street, the flashy new car. It's HyDra, who's been a beast, but Asim, the reminder, he can get it done. Look at that. 5,000 damage. Absolutely incredible map. And yeah, I mean, what was it? 25 and 15 from HyDra. Yeah, when both of your subs are, you're going plus 25. Good luck to the competition.
And Max plus 11, right? So we're going to take a look at our scuff play of the game. It will be HyDra closing out this map number 4. But I mean, yeah, it was so, I mean, look at this, right? It's 158 to 156. Look at the scoreboard. This is what I mean. It was 11 and 18 and 13 18. They do not make, they don't get a kill. Both LA Guerrillas players subs, they don't get a kill from
7 times in a row.
It's 7 deaths in a row.
Wow, you were spot on with that. I mean, I was thinking about the scoreline in the run, but I didn't realize they just did not get a kill. Just putting the absolute blender of blenders at the close of that game. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a 4-man team, but 2 subs dominated, 2 subs got fried. I mean, that just got lopsided as it gets by the end of it. But here's how the stage looks for NYSL. They come in, they get their win here against Guerrillas. Their next date with Mutineers, they played at the Major, and that was one of the uglier series I've ever watched. Mutineers got annihilated.
Yeah, but then Mutineers beat Ultra, right? I mean, a couple of days ago.
It's true.
You know, they're a team that is getting more comfortable. It feels like they're really starting to get better. So that is not going to be an easy match as well. And then what Empire could maybe not be a tough series. I mean, and then you're looking at that last one versus Toronto Ultra. Just see if Ultra could get back in the saddle.
Yeah, I can see that Mutineers being a bit of a trap game. I mean, Mutineers are going to be hungry for redemption, and NYSL walk through them. We'll see how that goes, but for LAG, you take the loss there. Empire, Mutineers, Ultra, Ravens to come. I mean, if they don't improve, they could lose all of those.
I think 3 of them, though, could be winnable. I think from what we've seen, even with what we saw last stage, like Empire, Florida, London could be those Game 5 barn burners.
Yeah, no, I guess I wouldn't be shocked to see them pull a few out. But yeah, a lot of Game 5 success might be how this boils down. But a reminder on how the whole day went. We saw a Røkkr victory, a Thieves Game 5 win against Surge. And then finally, NYSL closed it out with a 3-1 win in the Game Fuel Marquee match. But we're excited to be back to it. I feel like, you know, we're so deep into the year, but still so much action left to come. And speaking of action, let's take a look at tomorrow. We've got Ravens, Mutineers, Empire, Ultra, and OpTic FaZe. I'm excited for tomorrow, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Mutineers could get off to a 2-0 start, which would be huge for them. Dallas versus Toronto. It could be a really good series, right? Toronto trying to bounce back. Empire still trying to find their footing. Obviously, they're able to win, but, you know, they're still trying to improve with Vivid. And then OpTic versus FaZe. I mean, who can't be excited for that? You're crazy if you can't.
Yeah, no, I cannot wait. That's going to be a blast. We're going to check out our Astro social soundboard. Now it's going to be from Enigma. New York are a terrifying hardpoint team still. Their understanding of the spawns at all times, communication, current slaying power is top tier. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we talked about that several times over the course of it. You guys can't hear Joe and I during the listen-in, but at one point, I think I just said, none of us talked. We were just like listening, and I go, Joe, I think this is the greatest listen I've ever heard. It's just like, yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know I've listened to so many. I don't know if that was the best, but it was just really, really good. Like there were so many. Sometimes we'll hear a listen in, and there's not really, I don't know, a specific point to take away from it. We'll just come back and keep casting. There's not anything I'm on to leave. Joe, what'd you like? That was just really, really good. So props to the guys. It was on point.
No, it really was. But as he said, hardpoint is still there. But again, against the top teams with the talent that they have, you can't always guarantee those 2 hardpoint wins. NYSL knows that. You know, they played against FaZe in the winners final, grand final. They know where they can improve is that search and control. So we're just going to be watching that throughout this stage as they prepare for the next major.
Yeah, I think everyone's got some work to do. FaZe are back on top, and everyone's looking at how to beat them and just improve as a roster. And you've got this stage to work on it. And yeah, NYSL, that's what it really boils down to. And we kind of like to talk about teams' weaknesses and where they can find those improvements that they're going to become like the top team, the best team. And it feels like NYSL are really, really close. A couple more maps, and who knows? They might be crowned the next champion. I swear to God, if Clay somehow wins champs this year, I don't know. Is he the greatest of all time? If he, it's going to be on LAN. We're going to LAN for this major. If he somehow wins this, 3 in a row, considering every year he's been dropped. It'd be insane.
It's kind of like it kind of feels like Empire last year, though, right? Like in contention, it's just when are they going to hit their peak is kind of what we always talk about. Like, does Empire hit it at the right time when World Champs is right there, right? Where if you had like a team like Florida last year when they really started to pop off with those home series wins, and then teams figured them out, and they didn't have that run. But Dallas was a contender all year last year, but then they just felt like they went another step. And NYSL, they could do that.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's not that teams don't know how to play the game. Like, they learn it quickly. They're professional players. It doesn't take long for them to get going. But I feel like every year, at least in my career, there is a point late in the year where there's a team that's ahead. Whether it comes to spawn control, search and destroy, whatever it is, you watch them play, and their preparation and understanding of the game is ahead of other teams. It just is. And that's exactly what it was with Empire last year. Or I think back to like Envy back in Black Ops 3 when they really learned how to manipulate the spawns better than most teams did in Hardpoint. Like, that point hits, and you hope it hits like right before champs, which has been the case. I mean, think back to when we had like the stage 1 and stage 2 final. It was like whoever won the stage 2 final a lot of times won champs because they were peaking at the right time.
Yeah, 100%. What, a couple of weeks later, you had champs around. Yeah, Black Ops 4, Thieves in the United. It really felt like Thieves set the bar, and then the United when they had Simp, like, kind of evolved over that game too, right? So there's always just sort of this meta, right? Just evolving, and then you gotta hit your shots. That always helps. Yeah,
no, it does help to shoot straight, but we'll talk more of the evolution as that continues on over the course of this year. But that's going to do it for Joe and I. We hope you enjoyed the matches. We're going to a quick break, then we'll get it back over to Lando, Nameless, and Study to break down the day's action.
Try, you can't stop it. OC dub, way up like a rocket. Acting up, acting that way out of pocket. For the grind, for the hustle, I can't knock it. Do what it take, do what you do. You could try. Yeah. I've been up, I've been stuck up in the sky. Yeah. Only at the top, I can't lie. Haters watch it, throw the piece, tell them bye. I got things to do, I got bands to get. Competition up in smoke, cannabis. Ask me why I'm a top 10 candidate. I'm so fly, I'm so clean, and I'm rich. They can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. They can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. They can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got penny bands, I'm thumbing it. Tell them move. Get up out the way. It's ludicrous, yeah, how much I'm getting paid. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10K. No mob ties for the player being made. Now how you spoke to your girl, better check her phone. And do you know what she doing when you not at home? And when she tell you she alone, but she not alone. She got a lot of options, eeny, miny, mo. She gon' do what she want, ain't no stopping it all. Pour the liquor in the cup, yeah, I'm topping it all. I might take your girl, take a trip to the mall. Put the shelf in the bag, yeah, cause I'm copping it all. I'm saying, they can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. They can't stop it. They can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running.
Greetings, friends, and welcome back to Day 3 of the Chicago Home Series. We take our final stroll through the Windy City as Chicago prepares for its final day of its home series going down tomorrow. But before we talk about tomorrow, we have to reflect on what was a great day of Call of Duty with our U.S. Army match schedule. It was, in fact, the Paris Legion falling short to Minnesota Røkkr in a series that was very, very good down the stretch. In our T-Mobile 5G weekly drop game, the Thieves came away with a major Game 5 victory over the Seattle Surge. And of course, the match we just witnessed, our Game Fuel marquee matchup, it was NYSL coming away as victors over the Guerrillas in a solid 3-1 finish. Of course, thanks so much for joining us inside the CDL HQ. I'm Lando, joining alongside myself is Study and Nameless. But folks, before we kind of get into things, you may have noticed that we are wearing poppy pins, of course, for this weekend, for, of course, Memorial Day. You can feel free, of course, to join USAA in honoring military service members who give their lives defending our freedom. You can feel free to learn more and pay tribute to these service members at poppyandmemory.com, or also by using the hashtag honor through action. Again, a major thank you to all of our military service members out there. But alrighty, guys, let's start with the match that we actually just got done witnessing. New York finishes the job in 4, but Nameless, we're winding back a little bit to that control. What'd you take away from New York?
Yeah, we talked about it in the pre-show, how their control had to be the mode that they focused on and improved on going into this stage, and they did that today. It was phenomenal. We're going to dive into the offense that they had. It was just beautiful, man, how they execute here. You'll see a few players, they're, roaming around that A point. They end up, getting control of that, and it's just right here. They're taking their time, setting up these kills. Asim waiting for his teammate over here near A, and then he's just roaming around, holding down the bridge. Meanwhile, he's doing that. They're doing the traditional plays. You push over towards B, you're back and forth, just trying to, dilute the attention from the other squad. And they're doing a great job filling in the gaps. HyDra's back up top, getting those kills. That entire time that they were focusing on stopping New York from getting through green, they're able to pick up this point over here at B. And then it gives them the look to push towards A as well. So they're just doing all the right things right here on this offense, which can be very difficult. So then you see they go back over because they think they have an opportunity to stop B, but they don't. New York gets the kills. They push towards their spawn, and then they have the free look through green. So when you apply that constant pressure up through green, up through the middle of the map, and you're fluid like that and filling those spots, picking up the spots through the mini map, that's when you're going to find success. And New York did that in this round versus Guerrillas.
Yeah, and just to tag on it, even before this clip even started, when they started their first offensive push, New York did, LAG, they opened up with 4 dead, and then it was in a situation where New York were 4 spawning in their base. They all had to just wait a moment to capitalize on that, get all 4 players down to fight for that map control, and they do it beautifully. They had that one player who was alive in tools. He's able to win on his one-on-one engagement, and then his teammates eventually are able to chain it out, and that was just something that you don't expect, because when you start all 4 dead right off the rip, you're getting put into that spawn trap, but LAG weren't able to get a single kill after that. New York just took their time, used their teamwork, and really their improvements in the game mode to prevail on top of that, to close out the offensive round, and then to go on winning that defensive round and winning in a clean 3-0. Definitely showing improvements in that game mode so far.
Yeah, and those improvements are things, as you guys have talked about pretty much since we came into stage 4, how that has to be the target for them. They outslay by 16 kills and obviously walk away with the control in a nice 3-0 manner. Well, folks, if you thought today's matches were good, how about tomorrow, by the way? Truly some bangers, as Lottie would like to say, as we'll go ahead and take a look at the list of matches that we've got going down tomorrow. To kick off today, it is the London Royal Ravens taking on the Florida Mutineers. Quickly after that, it will be the Dallas Empire taking on the Toronto Ultra. And then to round out the day for our Game Fuel Marquee match, it will be OpTic Chicago versus Atlanta FaZe. Truly a classic match. When we take a look through these 3, Ant, I'll start with you, my man. What match are you most excited to see tomorrow?
I think all these are extremely good matches. The Toronto and Dallas one for me, because we're going to learn so much about both of these squads. Toronto, obviously didn't have the greatest series last time. I want to see if they could bounce back and perform better versus this Dallas team that seems to be new and improved. Their search and destroy was absolutely amazing. I love what I saw to Crim. He seemed to be better, but especially it was iLLeY who was putting on a show. I mean, the guy looked absolutely twisted on that Apocalypse. He went on like a 10 spree, and he just looked great back in the AR role. So we're going to learn so much in that series. That's the one that I got my eye on tomorrow.
Dud?
For me, the match that we all got to be looking forward to is that OpTic versus FaZe. Last time we seen that was at the end of stage 3, and it was FaZe just completely disrespecting OpTic, like 3-0, not even close, playing our best maps, making sure I'm the big dog in town. But the only thing different this time is that OpTic went through the major, they went through that losers bracket, they were able to make a little run towards the top 4 finish, so they're starting to get back into the groove of things, especially in those respawns. You have Formo and Dashy playing some of their best Call of Duty, Envoy looking on top. I'm excited for that rematch between both of those 2 top dogs.
I mean, you guys have obviously listed off the 2 other games before the one that I'm about to mention, but both of those are absolutely fantastic. But I gotta say, maybe one that's a little bit of a sleeper. I'm actually really excited for the first match, Ravens versus Mutineers. We get to watch Alex and Afro, that SMG duo, again get to kind of duel it up against the Mutineers, and of course Florida off of that Game 5 victory win versus Toronto. It definitely could lead to many exciting results. As Nameless said, all 3 matches are going to be total bangers. It is safe to say that we have had a great time so far here at the Chicago Home Series, but truly the best is still yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's action, but we will in fact see you tomorrow, same time, same place. The entire production and talent team. This is Landon Lano Sanders signing off for the final time, wishing you a great and safe night. Be in a spot to lock this one up, as they'll only need 8 more seconds. A push from Røkkr is imminent, but where's it going to come from? Are they going to be able to read it? Attach is able to find the first and also stays alive. Attach has stayed alive, but he eventually does get found out. Players dropping from either side. Minnesota get enough bodies in the hill to at least a contest for the moment, as that will be 3 strong in the hill. The time stopped at 27 seconds. 2:41 to 2:47. Have Minnesota done just enough? Paris, they have to go for the break. There's one. There's the second. 2:48. Have Minnesota done it? And they have. Minnesota come away with the thrilling hardpoint close.
Surge working on a miracle. First blood for Gunless. Drazah, though, able to take down 2, so the numbers will be even after that sequence. Good position and win there from Kenny. Down to another 1 versus 1. Prestinni, no ammo. He can't finish it. Thieves take the map 6-1. And with TJ back in the lineup, they'll get the W. So close to victory if they don't just close it out right now. Oh, and they might just close it out right now.
See him popping off 28 and 15. I mean, yeah, I mean, the slaying has really stepped up the second half of this game.
I thought the decision was going to be hard. It's not, because they had to go. It's not hard at all because they don't get in, they lose. It's a flawless hold to close it out.